Hey, how about it, peoples? We're going to the freaking moon.
Going around it anyway.
Yeah, for the first time in since 1972, unless of course you're a conspiracy theorist, and for the first time ever, maybe. And and isn't it ironic that there's already a bunch of conspiracy theorists that don't think we went before. Now they're launching on April Fool's Day.
Yeah, right.
Well, hmm. What- anyway, I watched the takeoff. It was
Did you?
pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
that's
good.
impressive, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I even watched the thing. Like they did some kind of test. And I don't know whether it was live or not. I think it was, but they did some kind of test thing yesterday. Uh, it was unmanned, but I watched that too. But uh, but yeah, pretty. And it wasn't no. I had it on, and then they said, "Well, we're getting down to about I don't know what it was, inside 15 minutes or something like." That. And then they go, "Oh, it's on hold," and I'm like, "Ah, nuts! Here we go." But just a few minutes later, they lit that candle, and off it went.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
they
don't
were
know.
saying like pretty much when it gets down to like 30 seconds, it's a go. They're not stopping at that point.
Yeah, yeah, but that was pretty cool. Can't wait to. And I know one thing: there better not be no dadgum grainy pictures. With today's technology. I even heard them saying on there that I guess the astronauts were taking their cell phones and they were talking about how even on an Artemis spaceship like that, they've got to put it in airplane mode. So, but all I know is if they got a cell phone, by God, there better be some pretty cool selfies,
Yeah, right.
with a moon
Yeah.
behind them and stuff like that. So an alien waving at them or something. It better be way better than last time. But anyhow, well, welcome everybody. I hope everybody's having a good week. It's been a good and a bad week here, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But Paul, tell us what you've got going on in Paul's messy workshop.
Well, I'm still working on a version of this, and maybe Ryan can answer this question. Yesterday, I was printing a new version of that, and I had a partial spool of filament. So I set my printer to automatically go to another roll when that roll ran out. But it didn't happen. Does that only work with bamboo filament, or should that
No,
work with any kind of filament?
no, it should work with any filament as long as it's the same color and type.
Yep.
According to the thing, it should be the same color and type.
You never tried it?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Oh, have
works.
you?
Yeah.
Because I got this far yesterday.
I haven't done it on one of my A1s because I don't have an
Oh,
A1
okay.
on A1,
And I
but
ran out of filament, and I had another spool all set up to go, and it was exact same stuff, same manufacturer, same everything.
yeah,
And it said that I ran out of, and I had the setting to go to it,
yeah.
and it said
It would,
ran out of filament, replace the reel at location number 3,
yeah.
and I couldn't get the other spool to go,
Well,
so I ended up
well,
moving it over.
you could, yeah, you could have just moved it over and just.
That's what I ended up
Oh,
doing, was just moving it over. But then I couldn't get it to work right. I couldn't get the nozzle to heat, and it
oh,
just
that's
didn't
cool.
want to do it. So I started the whole thing this morning.
Uh,
Mm.
yeah, it should have gone to, the it should have given you a filament runs out thing, and then, um, you could load in another roll on that same spool,
Yep.
and just tell it to load, and it should have loaded to it, but without having that AMS, I mean 100%, I might be missing something on it.
I'll have to practice with not as big of a project. Just
Yeah, or just
like
clip a piece of filament on it.
yeah, that's what I was going to do. Is just clip a piece and see if it goes over to the other.
Yeah,
I'll have to give it a try.
craziness.
That's all I've got going, Dave.
Okay, all right. What about you, Mr. Ballard? I see we've got the Stormtrooper mural flying proud back there today.
Oh yeah, it's back in its open available glory.
Yeah.
Been a busy week after the show I did this weekend, and I just saw this on Facebook Marketplace.
Uh-oh.
Oh, nice.
It's a 2000 Corbin Sparrow. It's a three-wheeled electric trike. I've actually wanted one of those since like 2000.
Oh, you need that.
Yeah, well, it's
Now, do you have to have in Maryland? Do you have to have a motorcycle endorsement to drive a three-wheel vehicle?
no.
Because in Michigan, you do.
Yeah, no,
You have
they
to
don't.
have a motorcycle endorsement to drive a three-wheel vehicle.
Interesting. No. Down here, as long as they get your money and they take some more money, they'll let you drive pretty much whatever. So, yeah, just ran across that. But tomorrow, the wife and I are going away for the weekend, and so right now I'm printing this.
I know where you're going.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to Universal.
Oh,
This is good. But anyway, so this the other part is just started printing over there. But when I take off the supports and all that, you'll see that there's a slot in here. So this is for you put your credit card into, and then it has a wand part that goes here, so you can tap to pay with the Mickey head.
Mm.
So I'm printing that out for my wife as a little surprise. So yeah, fun times.
All righty.
Yeah.
Well, I've got some pictures to show.
Nice.
Uh, I had them last week and didn't get around to showing them, but they're from our good friend Marcelo. Let me get them queued up here. Marcelo always does pretty good work here.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can remember how to do this.
And, ooh, there you
There we
go.
go. He's back at
wow.
the cutting board stuff. So his email says, "Hi Dave, finally back into making cutting boards. He sent me 3 pictures. All of these are 18 by 13 inches by 1.25 inches thick. The kitchen board, which is this one, is made from white hard maple with inlays in cherry, purple heart, Padauc, yellow heart, holly, nogal, and ginkgo." So a lot of stuff going on. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different woods, not counting the main maple.
Well, that's
stuff.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's some pretty slick stuff right there. So really good.
Marcelo's inlays are always really good.
All right, now let me click to the next one here.
Oh, cool.
If you're a Fighting Irish fan. Notre Dame board is made from black walnut with inlays in yellow heart, white hard maple, Vera wood, and maple colored with a blue dye.
Wow.
So that is pretty awesome. I like that.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
that's pretty cool.
I'm not a big fan of Fighting Irish, but I do like that cutting board. And then finally, the third one he sent is just a plain cutting board, and he says, also made just plain cutting board requested by his son for his kitchen. So still a nice looking nice looking board there. So
Yeah, he should have done an inlay that said plain cutting board.
yeah, he should have, huh? So anyway, thanks for sending those in, Marcelo. I always like seeing your work, especially the cutting boards. You always do a fantastic job on those things. Before I move on and show you some other pictures, let me vent a little bit.
Uh-oh, here we go. This is a good time now.
What is going on with Amazon?
Pull up a chair.
I mean, I have now. If you look back here, I'll do the Vanna White thing. You can see I've got a nice, shiny new 2.2 water-cooled spindle from the folks at Rat Motor, same place I bought the Z-axis assembly. You'll notice it's wired. You'll notice I have the VFD over there mounted, already wired, and it'll run. But on Sunday, I ordered, y'all know, I think I've told you, I have a CW3000 chiller that I use with the water-cooled spindle on this machine, my big one right here to my left here. Well, I went and looked up my orders and found the exact same water chiller, which there's a bunch of different folks sell them. But I went ahead and ordered one Sunday from the same seller that I bought that one from about this time last year. And the main reason I went ahead and bought it is because it was Sunday, March 29th, fairly early that morning, and it said the delivery would be next day, March 30th. And I thought, hot diggity, because I'm going to have this thing wired. You know, I just didn't want to get it here too early and have it in my way and stuff and have a dog chew on it or something, you know. So I had waited. So I was pretty excited that it was going to come Monday. So all day Monday, I kept checking the, and later that day, Sunday, I got a notification saying, hey, it's shipped. So I'm thinking, hot diggity, it'll be here Monday. And sometime Monday or Tuesday, I'll be making some shiny chips with that thing. Well, all day Monday, I kept checking the tracking thing, and I would even ask ALEXA, where's my stuff? And she would say, oh, yeah, you have a package coming. It'll be here by 10 p.m. today, you know, which is never a good sign when they say 10 p.m. But anyway, I kept checking the tracking number, and every time it would go online and check it, all it would say is that it had shipped. Nothing, no info. And then the little bar would go across and say ship, but it never crossed the out for delivery thing. So I'm like, well, there ain't no way it's coming today, because it would say out for delivery. So needless to say, it didn't come Monday. And then I woke up in the wee hours of the morning Tuesday, and first thing I thought of was that. I go, well, let me check that tracking again, see if it's coming today. Went and checked it, and it says it will arrive on or before April 2nd, which is tomorrow. So I'm like, God dang it, they got me again, because I don't know how many times I've ordered something when it says next day, and for some reason they just don't bring. And now I'm betting, you know, because this one's not, you go check tracking and it says the exact same thing it says from the first day. So I don't think it's shipped. I bet you tomorrow comes and goes and I don't even get it. And I'll have to probably cancel that one and go order another one or something. But anyway, so really disappointing. And I actually thought, well, Dave, you already got one. You could just take that one and move it over here, because I've got a spot cleared out on the workbench behind that curtain there. But I thought, man, it's going to be heavier because it's got water in it. You know, it's just going to be a hassle. I'll just wait. So, but on a brighter note, I did have an issue that was happening with the chiller over here on this side. And as I suspected, it wasn't really the chiller. it was my spindle. And what was happening is when you turn those things on, if anybody's got one, when you turn them on, you hear, well, of course, you hear the fans kick on, but you also hear for about a second, you hear a really high shrill, which is the kind of like that, which is the low water alarm. You know, it's got an alarm, so if you get a kink in the hose or a leak or whatever, it will warn you so you don't just keep running your spindle and burn it up. Well, mine had got to the point where one day I was running something out here and it came on with that alarm and it wouldn't go off. So I went around to the where the chiller is and I squeezed on the hose and a couple of times and let go and it cleared and quit squeaking. But then the next time I came out to run the machine, turned it on and it started squeaking and wouldn't shut off again. So I had checked I'd taken the hose loose at the chiller and had a little solo cup. And, you know, so I'd hold it, you know, hold the outlet hose in the solo cup, turn it on, and I'd turn it off real quick because it was shooting out plenty of water. But then when I did the return hose, it wasn't clogged, it had water coming, but it was much slower than the other one. So I thought, well, I bet you what's happening. I bet you my spindle's got a bunch of crud in it, and it's restricting the flow, and that's why that stupid alarm won't shut off. So yesterday, I got out there and I took both hoses off of my spindle and I had 3D printed just a little tube so I could just kind of stick both hoses together and eliminate the spindle. And then when I turned on the chiller, it worked fine. It you know, did the little initial beep and then shut off. So I thought, okay, so the problem's with the spindle. So I got my air compressor out, blew a bunch of gunky stuff out of there, you know, by holding it in, holding the nozzle on one thing, and it would shoot up on the other one. But apparently, I got it cleared out enough because when I first connected it back, it still did it, and I thought, well, let me try switching those hoses because maybe the restriction, if I flip it the other way, maybe it'll go around whatever's blocking it. So I did that, and sure enough, it worked. So I was out here, I ran some stuff today, and it worked fine. But I just decided it wasn't worth the trouble. I'll go ahead and I've waited this long. I'll go ahead and wait till tomorrow and see if it shows up. And then if it don't, well, I'll have to
wait longer.
I'll just wait longer. That's right. But really, really anxious to get it going. Like I said, I wired the, let's see, what day was it? Tuesday, I guess it was. I wired the VFD up and the spindle and all that. And it runs like a champ. It's just, you know, I can't run it but just a few minutes or don't want to run it very long. But anyway, it's all there waiting for me to get that chiller thing in.
Nice.
But let me queue up some other pictures over here. These are all stuff I was gonna show you my updates on where I'm at with this thing. There's a lot more stuff done, and you'll be able to see as I add these. But this is you can see it's nothing fancy the way I have that VFD mounted. Just made a little L bracket and it's got a gusset going back in here. And then it's just fastened there. But I made it high enough that when I'm standing at the console, I can see the readout and stuff. So again, nothing fancy there. Just got it mounted where I can see it easily.
Oh, it's cool.
And also notice there's vents on this side. I'm going to talk more about those in a minute. But notice all those vents over here. Okay. All right, now the next picture. This is a view of my little console. Again, it's nothing fancy. but I'm really digging it. I like the way it works. This, instead of trying to make holes in this plywood here to fit these in, I just made a big old rectangle and then used my trusty 3D printer to make this little plate. So I've got my USB thing where I can load my files in there, and then of course the e-stop there. Over here again is another view of that. And also, one thing I realized I'd forgotten to do when I originally made this, I forgot to put these fan holes back here. So I was running it one day, and I have this part under the keyboard. It's just laying in there where you can move the keyboard and it lifts right out. And then the power supplies are under there. Well, you know, 2 power supplies in there, so it warms up pretty good in there. So I thought, all right, I better put a fan in there. So I took this panel off, put it on the other CNC, did this little hole pattern, and then good old Amazon got me some 80 millimeter fans, little 12-volt fan, and
Yeah.
I have a little terminal block right over here that's feeding the 12 volts, so I can just easily reach that with it that high up. So that's working good. Got my spoil board put on, and this I kept going back and forth on what I wanted to do. Keep thinking I want to try something different, and then every time I do that, I always end up going back to the same old plywood base with T-track and MDF. Now, I haven't put any dog holes in this yet. I will be doing that, but of course I'll wait until I get the chiller where I can do it with the spindle. But pretty happy with that. I've got this plywood base that's underneath all this is 26.5 by 26.5 inches square, and then it's flushed with the very front of this workbench, which the spindle, when it comes up here, it can easily reach out here. So I went ahead and set it forward like that. And then the MDF is cut to 25 inches so that when I surface it, I don't have a step back here where I can't reach. I make sure I can reach all of it. So so I got that done. Here's a view of my T-track, or not T-track, but a drag chain. And this is the same stuff I had on that old side winder, I don't know, a year or so ago now. But I've got it up here on the X and the Y axis. And it's that 15 by 30.
Did you buy that, or did you buy that or print it?
Well, I bought it,
The
but I didn't buy it
okay.
recently. It's old. I've had it around for, you know, anytime I take an old CNC machine apart, I always save the stuff like this because I can always reuse it on another machine. But anyway, so there's the drag chain. Got everything put in there that's supposed to go in there. So it's all working good. Now here's another view of the VFD, and I wanted to show you this view for a reason. Notice, you know, from the other side, there's vents on it just like this. And on this side, there's all these vents. There's also vents up here on top. And then there's also a little fan on top. Well, I got to thinking about what a mess that aluminum makes when you cut it, because it flings that stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
So I designed a little cover, this thing here, and this is probably way overkill, but I've got a couple of little standoffs here, and you'll see what those are for. There's the standoffs back there. So it's screwed into the plywood behind it, and that way it leaves a gap for those vents here, but it just comes up and over to try to help keep the aluminum chips that no doubt will be slung towards this thing
Oh, that's a good idea.
out of it. So I have no idea how effective this is going to be, you'll have to stay tuned on that.
You
But
were
I
also
will let you know.
right?
And a lot of these 3D prints and stuff that I'm, anything that I'm using on this CNC build, I'm putting on the website and putting download links and stuff. I have not put this up there yet, and probably won't until I've had a chance to put it through its paces, make sure it does what it's supposed to do. But I think it will. I think it might do a pretty good job deflecting that. Uh, you can also tell if you look behind me that I have all of I call these the chip guards, and you can see the little lines where that's one piece, that's one piece. What I did is I took the length of my y-axis 4080 extrusion, which was 900 millimeters, and then just divided it by 5, and I came up with 7 inches and some change. So I knew that that would fit on my the bed of my P1S. So I've got 5 of these on this side and 5 on the other side, and they're all attached with there's 2 holes in each one, and they're attached with a little M5 socket head cap screw into a rolling T-nut that you can put in without having to take something off and slide them in the end. So I think those are going to work pretty good. All of these, like I said, all of these things that I'm 3D printing, I'm putting on the website. Nobody has to use them, but I figure I'll throw them up there if somebody wants to use them, and they can. And if they rather do their own thing, that's fine too. But this is a little flag. These Z-axis assemblies come with a little metal pointer, and I would show you one if I could find where I put the one I take off. But the one that's on there, that comes on there, it's pretty much worthless. It doesn't have enough metal to it to trip these. And by the way, this is not a one of the switch inductive sensors that came with that excuse me, came with the Z-axis assembly. I would advise you to take those off and throw them away and get these. This is a normally closed, and you can see the lights lit up on it because it's already homed itself. It's already came up, triggered it, turned it off, and then backed off. So it's already homed right there. That's why that light's still on. But this little flag thing is 3D printed, and it's on the website. And you can see I just CA glued a shiny penny to it, because obviously with plastic you got to put some kind of metal on it to make it work. Excuse me. Next, here's another one of the brackets that I have on there. This is the Y-axis drag chain mount is what I call this one. And you can see when I make these, I usually try to make them dual purpose. So this one not only has the drag chain attached to it, but it also, I have right behind this little terminal block where the screws are, there's a little boss that I extruded. And every time I make something like this, it's going to have some, tugging on it and stuff like that. I print them out of PETG, and I do 100% infill. So this is a good solid 3D print. And you notice here these screws here, that one's even sticking up. I think I didn't have the same length, so that was a little longer. But you notice they don't have any washers and nuts or anything on them, and that's because when you make these things 100% infill, you can tap them just like they're aluminum or something, and then run a screw in them, and you don't need to fiddle around with those little tiny washers and nuts and stuff. So I like to make them 100%, and then make the hole size whatever the hole would be for. I think that's a M3 or I think that's an M4. And then you just bring it out here and tap it with a tap, just like you would metal, and works really well. Over here, same kind of thing. This is the X-axis drag chain mount. And again, you can see kind of the same thing. I've got where it mounts here in these existing holes that come in this Z-axis assembly. Now I didn't tap this one. I did have washers and nuts because there's a lot of stress that dragging that thing around. So, but I do have the again have my terminal mount there where I connect my motors. That's how I roll with that, and then it attaches the drag chain.
Hey, Barbara.
This picture here is another little simple mount. It's not very thick, but again, I did make this 100% infill. Got a little roll-in T-nut down there and have it holding this up, and it puts this sensor where it picks up right in the middle of that upright as it comes back. And again, this one is already home. This turned it off and then backed off and turned it back on because these are normally closed sensors. And you notice this one, I had this one of these pieces here. I don't remember if this is it or maybe on up, but for this side, I had to, I told you I had 5 of them at 7 inches and some change. Well, that fit all the way. Well, because I needed this one to stop short, I made a special one that's a little bit shorter to fit this spot here, which is good because if I ever bump this and lose it, I know that I just need to push it up against there, and that's where I had it before. And then finally, this is exactly the same kind of prox sensor mount that I have on my other machine, and it's worked so well that I just made one for this one because I'm using the same Z-axis assembly. Again, it attaches to a hole that's already in this thing, so works out perfect. And that's just a little piece of aluminum that you can use. Now this one, if you look close, this one is right there normally open, so that's why this one's not lit up. But same thing, this one's home, it comes over, turns it on, and then backs off, turns it off. I didn't have any like this in stock that was normally closed, but since I already had this one, I thought I'm going to go ahead and use it. So, but again, all this stuff, whether you want to use it or not, it's on the website. If you want to get it, it's there. If you don't, you're not going to hurt my feelings. But, it works out well with this Z assembly and this setup, I think. So I think that was the last one. So has anybody got any questions while I've got these pictures loaded in? If I have to show one again,
I haven't seen any.
Okay, I don't see any.
Man, it's some good stuff going on.
My delivery said arriving today, then saw it in the neighborhood, then I saw it leave my neighborhood for 2 days in a row. Then it finally arrived on the 3rd day. Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, is Mitch? Hey, Barbara. I heard your I forgot to silent my phone, and I heard your text message just then a little while ago. Is Mitch out here? Hendricks working? Have you seen him?
No, I haven't seen him in the chat.
Okay. Well, he had a. Well, I think you saw the post too, because I think you commented on it too, Ryan. About he was talking about the Masso and how he hates when he sees those guys that have that big old bird's nest of wires hanging out there. And I told him, I said, you don't have to have that. Well, I've got a camera pointed right here at mine. I was going to show him. I told him, I said, make sure you ask me Wednesday during the show. And I said, I'll show you what I'm talking about, because I was trying to tell him about how you can use 2 of these, or if you want to do it really fancy, get the wiring module that Masso sells. But, I got 2 of these DB25s that handle all the wiring I needed on on that. And there's basically, instead of a big mess of wires, there's two things. One wire is from the power brick, the 24-volt power supply that runs nothing but the Masso itself. And then the only other thing is the DB25 cable. That's it. That's all that's in there. So really nice, clean installation at the Masso G3 Touch. And you know, I keep saying, all those guys that have a G3 Masso, or anyone for that matter, even if they have that other one, they don't have to have that big wad of wires if they know what they're doing. There's a much cleaner way to do it than that. But it's not my machine, so I don't care. But I'm going to have mine that way. So, anywho.
Sean says is asking when I got a wooden floor. Yeah, it's just cleaner. And I got rid of the carpet, the rug that was in here too, because it's easier to roll around on my chair than when there's no.
Yeah. And I don't see any poop on the floor.
Yeah, no, I swept.
Oh, okay. All right, good deal.
Actually,
and I mean 3D printer poop, people, not like Ryan's taking a crap out there or something,
You're trying to give us all a bad name, Ryan? Like cleaning?
Yeah. Well, and then I look, the SV08 Max is in a new spot too. So I mean, it's facing out and it's on a smaller piece of wood and all that stuff. So.
Is it working now?
No.
No.
No, but I did film a video on it the other day, so that'll come out in a week, or next week, I guess. So, but yeah. So anyway, because I did some maintenance stuff to it while I'm waiting for my hot end to come from the U.S. Warehouse from Sobol, which happens to be located in China. So right now it's in New Jersey. So it's made it over here at least to New Jersey. So hopefully in the next week I'll have it, and it'll be back up and running.
So. All right, yeah, that thing's been down quite a while, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I didn't order. Well, it's been a couple weeks now since I ordered the hot end for it, but it was down for a couple weeks before that. But I just didn't have time to. Well, the hot ends weren't even in stock, so there wasn't anything I could do about it. So yeah, it's been down for a couple months.
Okay.
Oh well. Also, we had who else was saying something in here? Let's see here. Russ got his Creality filament dryer with 5 free rolls of filament today.
Yeah, Paul was talking about that before we went live, because he asked me if I heard y'all talking about it on your show Saturday, and and I was telling him, yeah, but anytime I hear somebody say the word Walmart, I kind of just tune them out after that, because I haven't been in a Walmart in 15 years or longer probably, but Walmart's not my not something I even think about when I'm buying something. But I guess that's a legit thing if people are getting it. Paul says he's getting one, so.
Yeah, mine's supposed to be here tomorrow.
Well, Paul, tell everybody what it is so everybody knows what's going on.
It is a Creality single slot dryer for filament dryer. And when you buy it for $59, you get 5 free rolls of PLA filament. Somebody in the chat said it was sold out now, but Sean says on there it ships from Creality, and he's gotten his, and Russ got his, and like I say, mine's supposed to be here tomorrow. So
nice.
All right, good deal.
Figure either just the dryer or just the filament's worth $59.
Oh yeah.
Jerry says Walmart's king in his house. It's not here, and it probably wouldn't be if you ever gone to this Walmart where I'm at either. Because, yeah. I don't have the right kind of pajamas to go to that Walmart.
Brandon Moore is asking, how many videos do you have for the Gatton 2.0, and do you have a playlist?
Yes, the playlist is on the website, available to the people who have purchased the plans, which I believe he has. So if you go to the website, it's kind of like a members only section of the website. So the rest of my website's got everything else, and then the people that are supporting me in this project and purchase the plans, they're the ones that are going to get access to all the other stuff. It'll be on those pages. Like I said, it's kind of like a members only section. You know, we don't have a cool jacket like the old members only jackets or anything, but there's currently 6 videos on there. And really 6 of them. Like the first one is I'm talking about different ways you can fabricate the plates. You know, what you can do if you don't have a CNC machine, what you can do if you don't have a 3D printer, what you can do if you don't have a, you know, laser or drill press, you know, all these different things. And there's also in the plan package, there's all the, and I mentioned this last week, there's all the STL files if you do have a 3D printer that you can print out these templates, which have a hole that will fit a 1/8 inch center punch. So you can lay this on your material and you can mark out all the holes and get them much more accurate than trying to just lay them out by pulling a tape measure or even a calipers and trying to scribe and all that kind of stuff. So I've tried to come up with a bunch of different ways for people to make these plates, get them accurate, and, you know, at least if you can get them close, once you get your machine built, like say, for example, you don't have a CNC or don't have a good way to make the uprights with this profile on them, which, you know, this is a 2-piece 3D print thing that, if I can get it back apart, yeah. So it should fit on the bed of anybody's printer, no matter how small a printer you have. And you put these on. So if you don't have a way to cut the profile, you can still get all the holes laid out, obviously, but you can always leave it just a rectangle shape, build the machine, and then if it really bothers you, like it does Ryan,
Round it off.
you can use your machine to cut some new plates, and then you've really got some good accurate ones, and then replace them.
Yeah, make sure you get those corners nice and round.
Yeah.
OSHA will be after you.
Oh, I was thinking about Ryan as I was modeling that up. Every time I went and put a radius on there, I'd go, this is for you, buddy. Right here.
I appreciate it.
So,
hey, so I'm on Walmart's website, and right now they do have the Creality Space and Dryer, whatever it is, a 2-pack of them. So 2 single thing filament dryers, plus 10 kilograms of filament, and it's $158.99. So they do have a pretty good deal there.
okay. Now, is this available only from Walmart.com or?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't see the single one anymore, but like somebody else said, Russ said it's sold out. So, but they do have that one.
That sounded like, you know, if it was a legit thing, and apparently it is, it sounded like a really good deal. So no wonder they're sold out and they didn't last long.
Yeah.
So.
And free shipping. So I mean, that's a tempting one.
All right. One last thing I wanted to talk about too, as the thumbnail suggested or asked, you know, does size matter? Well, when it comes to the Gatton CNC 2.0, no, really don't. Because as most of you have figured, or some of you have figured out already, I have 4 sizes. I modeled up 4 different sizes, and I made them out of all common components using standard sizes, 900 millimeter extrusion, rails, ball screw, 1200 millimeter extrusion, rails, ball screw, 1500 millimeter rails, extrusion, ball screw, and all that. So because they're all kind of modular components like that, I have the 4 different sizes. I have the 2x2, which is this one. I have a 3x2, which is the same 2 feet that way, but another foot this way. Then I have a 4x2, which would be 4 feet this way, 2 feet this way. So those 3 machines all use the same right y-axis assembly and the left y-axis assembly. They're the same. They're all going to be the same. Now, once you go to the 4x4, then you're talking about a 1500 millimeter extrusion, ball screw, and linear rails. So now you've got, this piece would be 1500 millimeter, and these pieces would be 1500 millimeter. Okay, so I've noticed that somebody's already said, I can't remember who it was, but they said they were wanting to build a 3x3. Well, of the 4 sizes I modeled, I didn't model a 3x3, I modeled a 3x2. But it doesn't take a rocket scientist, because I made this so simple, using standardized stuff, is that this one is a 900 millimeter, which is going to be for a 2 foot in the Y. The 4x4, is a 1500 millimeter, which is going to be a 4 foot in the Y. And there is no 1200 millimeter that I have modeled, but you can get a 1200 millimeter piece of this. You can get the ball screw, you can get the rails. So you can easily make a lot more than just the 4 sizes that I had modeled up. There's another person I saw, they wanted a 2 foot by 4 foot, but they didn't want it 4x2 like I have modeled. They wanted it, for some reason, 2 foot and then 4 foot that way. So same thing. And I've already got everything listed, because there's a 1500 millimeter y-axis for the 4x4, so they could use that assembly. And then for the 2 foot, they would use this one just like this for the gantry, which would be a 900 millimeter extrusion, linear rails, and the ball screw. So all of these things, although they're different sizes, they're all standard components, and they're all made basically the same. So that's why when I'm showing the video, I've got 6 different videos out showing how you make this, how you put all this stuff together. Well, it's the same thing no matter what length. It's, the only thing that's going to be different is if you're building a wider one, the X gantry is going to be a longer piece. The linear rails and the ball screw, all that's going to be a longer piece, but they all fit the same way. And that's on purpose. That's me. That's the KISS theory of engineering. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't overcomplicate stuff. There's no reason to have all these different, different things, and then make them each one different, so that you have to reinvent the wheel all the time. Ron says, "Whoops, somebody hit it the same time I did. I think that was me." And you're right. Not hard to figure out the extrusion. Yeah, because you just stick to the standard sizes: 900, 1200, 1500 millimeter. The extrusions, you can order. Well, you can order them cut whatever. They might charge you a little more if you get like 923 millimeters or something silly like that. But if you just stick to the standard measurements, You can get those. If you look on my Amazon store, I have the linear rail kits, the ball screw kits in all three of those sizes, 900, 1200, and 1500 millimeter, because they're all on there. So um, Brandon's asked, yes, that's what I always say, Earl. That's what you probably heard me say that a million times as long as you've been following me. It's not rocket science. That's why I keep telling, people that want a CNC, if you really want one, there's no reason you should not, you shouldn't have one, They're
Yep.
not that hard. You know, if you don't like my plans, buy somebody else's. We've already done the work for you. Telling you, the screws, what length of screw, what pitch screw, all that's figured out. I can't make it any easier unless I come build it for you. Um, let's see. Brandon wants to know, what breakout board do I use? Well, I'm not really using a breakout board with this. This control that I have here, and you can't see it because it's mounted inside here, just on the other side of this. But I'm using my old Masso second generation controller. So it looks just like a G3 Masso. Well, it looks similar to a G3 Masso controller, but it's much older. I've had that thing. Jat sent that to me, I think, in 2017. So I've had it for 9 years. And I used that one when I built this other bigger machine last spring, about a year ago. And then Masso had a contest where you could send them a video and get a chance to win a G3 Touch. I made a little video, and sure enough, they sent me the G3 Touch. So I swapped it over, and now I've got that machine running on a really nice G3 Touch, which in my opinion is the best money can buy right now, everything that's out there. But I had that G2, which I already knew still worked perfectly. So when I got ready to do this project, I thought, I'm probably going to end up with a G3 Touch, because I'll probably buy one, because especially after using that one, I just love it. But this one works great. The only difference is this is a touchscreen monitor, but it's not compatible with it. So that's why I have one of these little Bluetooth thing, and I have the mouse thing. So I have to use the mouse and click or double tap or whatever, stuff like that. But as far as running programs and stuff like that, it's not as nice as the G3 Touch, because it's not, because the touch screen part don't work. You don't have as many tools. I think there's 32 tools from 0 to 31. Masso's got the newer one's got like about 100, I think, or something like that. So, but yeah, that's still a great controller. If you can find a used second generation Masso, get it. But I have never seen one for sale, and I imagine it's because they work so well, you won't see one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. But no, that's kind of a long-winded answer to your question. So I don't really use a breakout board, because everything's going to that Masso. It has all the...
On the other machine, what boards are you using?
Well, on the other machine, and we talked about that earlier, about how you don't have to have a big blob of wires hanging at the G3 Masso Touch like some of those folks do. I won't mention any names. But I got 2 of these. They're both the same, DB25. So you see there's there's one on top here. There's 1 through 13, and then down below there's 14 through 25, plus there's a ground pin on here. So if you get 2 of these, and on the side of my machine over here, that's where the messy part is. I have my 4 drivers for my stepper motors. I've got 4, because with that machine, I'm using NEMA 34s on the X and the Y. So they're the bigger stepper drivers, and they require more power. So I've got a power supply that runs each one of those. So I've got 4 power supplies in there. I've got 1 of these. So everything that you wire, you go and you run it to whatever pin here, or wherever you're going to go. Then you take a DB25 cable, connect it here, and you take that 1 cable and feed it through the. Let me just hit this other camera here.
And if you're
See, here's what I was going to show Mitch. Here's my G3 Touch, but if you look underneath here, there's this right here is the DB25 cable. This is just a cable from the power supply brick, which is just connected just to the G3 Masso, which sits right in here. So this is all the wires you see over here. All the other big mess of wires is over there in the control box where it should be. That should be where all the connections are over there. Because then you bring the DB25 into the Masso. There'll be another one of these, and then all you have to do is just run a short wire from here to where it goes on the Masso. And Masso sells a thing called a wiring module, which is a similar thing as this, but it's a much slicker thing. If I'd have known they sold that before, I'd have used that instead of these. You can also use DB37. I almost ran out of room. Almost didn't have enough connections because I kept adding. I added a tool setter and a touch probe, and you start adding a bunch of stuff, and you can run out of pins on these. But they do make a DB37, which would work the same way, or like I said, the Masso wiring module is. Go to Masso's website and check that out. It's an awesome thing. And then you'll have a nice clean install. Your G3 Masso Touch will look like mine, and it'll have that 1 cable running in there and not a big wad of wires and connections. Some of those videos I watch when those guys are doing stuff, and I'm like, man, that's. And I'm not a neat freak. I'm not good at wire management and stuff like that, but my mess is where it doesn't matter. Nobody sees it. It's over in the control box. It's not hanging off the front of the machine like those guys.
If you're gonna look up Masso on Facebook Marketplace, be careful because it might just come up with massage. There's no Massos available, but there's plenty of massages evidently.
Is that a touch? A G3 touch? Right.
it might be. I don't know. I'm not clicking.
Okay. All right. So yeah, that's what I wanted. I want to make sure. Like I said, I know that at least 2 people I know of have already figured out that the standard sizes are standard sizes. So even though Dave only did 4 different combinations, there's other combinations you could do. So as long as and again, you'll learn how to do them all just by watching the videos of how I do this one, because it's the exact same thing the way you put it together. It's either going to be longer or shorter depending on what size you're wanting to make. Let's see. Make sure I haven't missed anything. We're getting ready to sign off here. I guess while we've still got a few people hanging around, we probably should do a giveaway. Don't you think? Okay, let me get the thing set up, and we'll do our giveaway. I see people dropping off. Yeah, you gonna go ahead and leave? You're gonna miss the giveaway.
Doug said he'll click it. I don't need that in my timeline.
Let me find. Oh, I guess I'm gonna have to. Maybe I guess I'm gonna have to click on it here. So we'll put it here. That's from last week. Let me edit this. We'll create a new. We did hashtag bear last week. We'll do hashtag something. We'll do. What's a good hashtag, y'all? I know.
Gatton. Hashtag I just got a message from my wife that said my dog pooped upstairs again.
Uh-oh. Okay, so let me reset this. Hashtag OFLU. We're going to do hashtag OFLU. I love those OFLU guinea bits. They are the bomb. And if you have purchased my plans and are wondering how you're going to make that aluminum plate, but you got a CNC machine, get you some of them guinea bit OFLUs. I'm telling you. That will.
Oh, flute. That's a Z. Is that a 0 or an O?
It's an O. O flute. And I still don't know why they call them O flutes, because technically it's one big long flute. But I guess calling them one flute wouldn't sound good or something. I don't know. Yeah, if you want, I don't know if he's out there or not.
Stanford.
Stanford. I kept wanting to say draw gnats or something. However it sounds when you read it backwards. Yeah. Only rule we have is that you can't win 2 weeks in a row. So you won last week, set it out. But I don't know if he's even out there. I haven't seen him. Might be out there. But oh yeah, some people are going to get on their other channels now because the count's going up. Yeah, go get on them other 16 YouTube channels you have. Hashtag OFlute. That's how to do it. Well, while we're waiting for this to populate a little bit, if you're tuning in late or you are watching this on the replay and you have not checked out the new Gatton CNC 2.0 plans, go to davegatton.com. I got the little ticker running across the bottom of the screen there. Go check it out. It is it's going to be a good one. Like I said, I've got the 6 videos showing how to put it together. Some of the other stuff, and Brandon and any of you other folks out there, if you want me to make videos on how to do, other things like the wiring or any of that kind of stuff, I can do videos on that. It's not, technically it's not really part of the package build because, I'm just kind of showing you how to get your basic mechanical part of the machine, because I don't really care what kind of controller you use or what size stepper motors or whether you use the old manual or not manual, but what's the kind of I know y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm thinking about limit switches, but those old clicky kind like this here, that kind, they're dirt cheap. You can get a pack of 6 of those for about $10 or something, I think. They work fine, you know. So I don't care what you do the rest of it. I'm just trying to make this whole build as easy as I can for people that want to build their own CNC machine. That's why I have not just the video showing how to put the basic mechanics of the machine together, but also sharing any of the other files that I create or something. You know, if I think somebody could use them, might want to use them, I'll put them up there and share it with them. But you don't use them, like I said, you're not going to hurt my feelings. If you rather design something of your own, no problem. It's all, make the machine your own, you know.
Heck yeah.
But I do want to thank everybody that's purchased the plan so far. I've had a lot of support with it, and I appreciate that. There will be a lot of videos. Like I said, if somebody says, "Hey, Dave, how did you do this?" then I will, if at all possible, I will do a video. Even if I've done it, I'll undo it and do it again and shoot a video of it to show you how I did it. I've still got a few things I haven't done. I didn't talk about that, I guess. I've told you what I have done so far. Still yet to do is I've got, obviously, the chiller. When the chiller comes, I've already got me a little thing hung down from the ceiling here. I'm just going to run my hoses. The chiller's going to go on the workbench behind that curtain, and I'm going to run the hoses over and just kind of hang them and let them move around. I do that with that machine. It works great. I don't like trying to fish water hoses in with the other wiring. I'd rather keep it separate. So I like just keeping it up suspended, and you know, this isn't a very big machine, so it doesn't have to move around much. So that's one thing still to do. I've got this tool setter just like what I have on my other machine. I haven't installed that yet. I have not cut my little tramming blocks. That'll probably be one of the first things I cut with this machine once I get the chiller hooked up. Another thing I also have to do is I need to machine another XYZ touch plate. I've got one on that machine, and I may dig out one of I got a lot of those little cheap puck things that come with those cheap machines. So I may just get one of those to use until I get the machine up and running where I can, you know, cut one of those out of aluminum. So
Hey,
touch
Dave,
plate.
Brandon Moore says, please do the wiring, a video on the wiring.
Okay, well, I mean, I can do it, but like I said, I'm probably the only person around using an old Masso G2, but I can show you. It's similar to a G3. It would be similar, but I can show you some things. I can show you the.
Well, getting it all up to the controller is the same. I mean, all the wiring.
Probably like the stepper motors to the controllers and
Yeah,
things like that.
I can do a video where I show. In fact, let's see. I've already closed out that thing.
You still have your demo board?
No, the demo board's been disassembled. Let's see what I got here. No, that's not the right one. Let me share my screen again, and I'll show you some things. Okay, this is probably the best picture that's going to demonstrate this. Okay, when I showed this picture here where this wiring comes out, I use these terminal blocks. I've been using them for a while, and they work great. I'm sure there's going to be some people say I'm an idiot and you shouldn't do this, but I think it's just as good as anything else. It keeps the connection. It's better than them little Molex connectors, I can tell you that. So I like to use these. And so I run my wire through my drag chain. And if you look, if I zoom in here, you can see the 4-wire cable that I that I use, and this is shielded wire, which is what you should use when you're running these. But you notice the colors are black, yellow, red, and white coming out of that 4-wire thing. Well, coming out of the stepper motor, they're different. But you have to determine which, in the stepper motor, there's 2 pairs of coils. So you have to figure out which of these 2 wires are pairs. In this case, the black and the green is 1 coil. We'll call it the A coil. And then the blue and the red is the B coil. Okay, so once you get that figured out, every time you put these in one of these blocks like this, you have to do it in this order: black, green, blue, red, to keep the coils the right way. Now, since this is different, it doesn't matter which way I hook these up, but what I try to do is combine the most colors. Like there's no green, but to me, yellow is closer to green than white is. So I use black to black, and then I say, okay, I'm going to call this one what would be the green, and then I go red to red, and then this one is going to be white to blue. So as long as you keep track of what this one is supposed to be on the motor, and when you go to the driver, you would put them in the same way. For the A coil, you put the black and the yellow of the other end of this wire, and then here for the red and the white, that would be the B coil on your stepper motor. But I can go through and kind of show some of that stuff. I can take the covers off my a little console and try to do a video to try to explain some of this. But I've mentioned this before, and I'll say it again. When you get to building this thing, if you have any questions about something, do not hesitate to get in contact with me. And when I say get in contact, if you got a question and you send me an email or a text message and I can answer it sufficiently with a text or an email, that's what I'll do. But if I send you an answer back in an email and you go, man, I still don't get it, all we got to do is I can send you a link, and you would come on here just like Paul and Ryan are, except it wouldn't be a live broadcast everywhere session. I have a separate studio that I use as a private studio. So you can do tech support by, you could be out in your garage and you can use your phone with this EVMux, and you could turn the phone and show me what you're doing. I go, oh no, you got that wire crossed, or what, so we can do one-on-one sessions using this EVMux app. It's kind of like a FaceTime or a Zoom call or whatever, but it's just a private session. And I always offer that up. Most people don't take me up on it, but a few people have. But that's a good way for me to, you can walk around your shop and with the camera and go, okay, this is how I'm doing this, and then I can actually see what you're doing instead of spending time going back and forth with emails trying to type and all that stuff. So that offers out there too. Like I said, I want people to get the machine. It's not rocket science, like Earl said earlier. It's not rocket science, but it is a little confusing sometimes if you don't already know. I've built plenty of these things, so I know it. I still have to make sure if the wires don't jive and they're not all the same color, I got to make sure I write them down, because you don't want to get them across. You'll know if you don't, because it won't work right. But anyhow, all right, we've been letting these folks drag on here on the thing. Let's go ahead and hit this and see if we can do a gift card from Cadence Manufacturing and Design. So, all right, everybody, good luck, and here we go.
Here we go. Get it, 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 get it. slowing down. Slowing down. Ooh, Big Bear.
Big Bear
Big Bear.
4x43. Okay, I don't even know. I think I know who that is, but at any rate, I don't need your address or anything, but I do need your full name and your email address. So go to my website, just click on one of the contact things. It'll do that little form thing. And just put, I'm the winner. Give me your name and your email address, and I will get that gift card sent. I'll get it sent tonight if I get it soon enough.
Nice.
If I get the information soon enough. So, all right. Well, that's going to do it. Thanks for for y'all hanging around tonight. Had a good little crowd tonight, like we did last week. I appreciate you. Paul, you got any final words before we go? You still awake over there?
I'm still awake.
Okay. Well,
Are
we're going to
you?
get
Are
out of
you
here
still awake?
so you can hit the
I mean,
bed.
this is late for us old guys.
I know it. I know it.
No, I have nothing else. Everybody have a good weekend and a happy Easter.
All right. Yes, indeed. We got what? Good Friday coming up a couple days.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
yep. All right. What about you, Ryan?
Yeah. I.
Go over to
There
Our
may or
Valley
may not be a,
Designs.
yeah. Well, there may or may not be a show this weekend. We'll find out here momentarily. So,
Oh, okay. All right.
but yeah. So anyway, keep an eye out. And hello to Mr. Kenneth. Kenneth took the time to come and visit me.
Yeah, you lucky dog. You got to meet him, didn't you?
Yeah, he was standing in front of me. And he goes, "It's Kenneth." I went, "Oh shit!" I wasn't expecting. Like,
That's always cool to meet somebody out in the wild that you feel like you know them because you see them all the time, but you always see them virtually and
yeah,
not in person. So
he's got
that's
a good
pretty
looking
cool.
family.
Yeah, that was neat that you got to meet Kenneth. But all right then. Well, y'all go watch Making It Up as we go if they have one, and we will see y'all here next week.
See y'all.
If I can get I better get the thing ready. Oh, here we go. All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see y'all next week.
See ya.